Hi there. Today I'm joined by Kate McKibben from secretbloggersbusiness.com. And Kate has an amazing program for bloggers that is designed to help them go from just writing articles and tinkering around with their blog and take it to actually being a business. And I get to work quite closely with Kate, which is why I wanted to share her with all of you at breakoutsuccess.com, because Kate is part of Breakout Success Mastermind and has grown her business substantially, particularly over the last kind of 6 to 7 months. So I wanted to, share her with you all and give you some more insight into what it really takes to make your blog a business and start monetizing it. So welcome, Kate. Nice to see you.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
It's my pleasure. So I know that you've got a rich blogging history as the editor of DropDeadGorgeousDaily.com. Tell me a little bit more about that site.
My original background was in magazines, and then about 7 years ago, I was working as a web editor for Shop2Drop, and around about that time was when online shopping was starting to really take off. It was starting to take off in Australia anyway. Obviously, the US had been all over it for a while. And there just didn't seem to be anywhere that people could go to know where who was shipping online, where was a trustworthy source, that kind of thing. So I came up with the idea of Drop Dead Gorgeous Daily, which at the time was a one-a-day newsletter that sold, just basically showing people all the awesome things you could buy online, good sales, all that kind of thing. And then it's kind of grown from there, and now we get about just under 200,000 people visiting the site every month. And I've got 4 girls helping me out writing the content and, doing other kind of bits and pieces. And, it's been it's probably one of the bigger independent sort of blogs in Australia that's sort of on that more kind of, publisher sort of layout. And it's been amazing. It's been great fun. And then start of this year, I decided to sort of share all these things which I'd learned, because I'm very much self-taught, and I've kind of failed my way through the whole thing and come out the other side. There's a lot of things that I wish that I had known, even a few years ago, or about, the different ways that you can make money from blogging and the different ways to get traffic. And, it's just stuff that no one really seems to like to talk about. I understand that people get a bit funny about money. So, most bloggers, they're solo entrepreneurs. So to talk about money at all, it's basically telling you how much they earn, which can be a little bit scary, but I don't really worry about that kind of stuff. So, I just wanted to show people that these are the things you actually have to do to make money online. This is how much you can expect to make. This is kind of like the plans you can put into place that will bit by bit will help you grow up to have a reliable income from blogging, so you can blog full-time or part-time or whatever it is that you want to do.
Yeah. So when you started out with the site, were you just focused on Drop Dead Gorgeous Daily, or did you have a side job you were juggling a few things before it became your sole source of income? Like, how long did that take, and what did you do to kind of get through from starting to it becoming your independent source of income?
Yeah, well, I was quite lucky working in mags at the start. I think that gave me a bit of a leg up, because I got quite a few good favours and mentions in different magazines and things. Nice. So the news, when it was just a newsletter, went from 0 to like 10,000 plus subscribers in less than 6 months.
Wow.
And that was just, word of mouth and people kind of putting it out there. And I think at the time people were just dying for something like that, because there wasn't much around. Then sort of a bit of, fate intervened, I suppose. And where I was working, I got a new boss and we didn't get along that well, and I was a bit bored. I've been doing the same job for a few years, and I just thought, if I'm going to, this is growing quite quickly and I'm really loving it, so I'm going to, take the plunge. And pretty much within like a week of me deciding that, someone sent me an email saying they had 2 days a week of freelance work for me if I wanted as well. And I'm like, okay, perfect. I know I can pay my bills.
Fantastic.
And still gives me enough time to do this. So I went and got like a little, $10,000 personal loan from the bank, and pretty much the second it hit my bank account, I quit, and I've been working on it full time pretty much since then.
And never look back. So how long ago was that?
I went part-time, because I was working 2 days a week after about 9 months of doing it.
Cool.
And then probably about 6 months later I was full-time.
Okay, Excellent. And you've had the blog for how long have you had the blog for? Dropdeadgorgeousdaily.com. How long's that been?
It will be 7 years in November.
Okay, cool, great. So you've been in the trenches. You are the oracle, really, of blogging. And well, there's so many people now. Like it's over the last couple of years, really. It's more mainstream. It's more of a tipping point. It's been seen as more of a potential career, right? Like if people start off and they're thinking, great, I could make money from blogging. This is, I can write about something I'm passionate about, and, perhaps advertisers will want to place things on my website and I can make enough money. But it kind of generally doesn't work that easily, right? So what's the first thing that people should really know about blogging, and perhaps what are the biggest misconceptions about starting a blog?
I think a lot of misconceptions is that it's just going to be this easy cakewalk and that people, you'll just write a post here or there and it'll be so amazing that, you'll become this overnight success and advertisers will be just falling all over themselves to get to you. And that's not the case, sadly. I don't think it's the case for anyone. I know some pretty massive bloggers, like I won't mention names, but they're, this is with hundreds of thousands of people, visiting their website and, they're massive following on social media and all those things that, people are striving for, and they still have to work full time because they haven't figured out how to monetize their blog properly. So there seems to be there's two very different parts to the blog. There's the creating your amazing content, creating your tribe, getting people, making online friends, as I call it, and, just building that audience of people who love you. Mm-hmm. And a lot of bloggers are very, very good at that. But then that doesn't necessarily mean that they're then going to also be good at the business side of things, which is, figuring out how to systemize all this stuff so that it's not taking up every waking minute of your day, and also knowing, the different things you can charge for and when you can start charging for them, and even knowing sort of just basic sales skills. I think a lot of bloggers hear sales and they're like, oh, yuck, I don't want to do that. That's not why I started blogging. But the fact of the matter is, if you have your own business, you're a salesperson. It doesn't matter what your business is, even if you don't like doing it. I don't like doing it particularly, but otherwise I can't pay my rent. So
so you kind of have to. Yeah.
Yeah. But the other thing is it doesn't have to be as scary as people think it is. There are, especially when you're talking about, trying to sell things at a couple $100, there's not, different blogging packages or whatever it is. Yeah. It doesn't have to be that scary. And then I suppose the other thing is that misconception is people think to make money blogging, it is all about ads. Yes. And that I think is probably, for any kind of sustainable blog, you wouldn't want it to be more than a third of your income. So there's all these other things that have to kind of get put into place. Yeah. And that's what I try and teach, that it's more of a holistic blogging thing.
Yeah. So there's got to be, you can't rely on just one channel. There's got to be all the channels coming in, and ads are definitely have a part to play. But ads don't really come into play until you've got an audience. So the content machine needs to be there. The email list needs to be built, not just RSS feeds. You've got to be connecting with people from an email perspective as well. Your social media needs to be prolific, really, to get all that word of mouth and get that audience and get the content out there. So there's, there is a lot to do. And like any small business, it's, you're juggling all the balls. And I'm sure a lot of bloggers feel this. It's I just want to get my message out there and hopefully the advertisers will see me. But without the other pieces of the puzzle, they're going to be struggling to get that happening. And one of the biggest things I hear, out in the trenches is, well, how do I get people to read my blog? Have you got some tip? What's been the biggest needle mover for you on getting readership?
Been a few things. For us, one of our biggest things was identifying the right social media channel to be sort of spending our time and effort on, because there's so many and there's a new one comes up every second week, it seems like. And, if you spread yourself too thin, you're never going to really get anywhere. So I kind of adopted all right, okay, this one seems to be where our people are. Let's just really, really focus on that. Yes. Figure out how we can drip feed some things into the other ones, because, some people are still on Twitter, using Twitter and Facebook, even though we aren't. Yes. And, just the power of, if you really, really just laser focusing on one thing, how much quicker that will grow. and how much more beneficial that is. So that's been really key to us. And then the other thing was not being afraid to put yourself into your posts.
Mm-hmm.
I think as far as, because for us, we've had pretty good traffic for a while, but as far as getting that engagement up, which gets people sharing more and coming back and leaving comments and all those kinds of things, and that is kind of starts that nice snowball. It's been a lot about, putting more of us. I've got myself and 3 other girls, and none of us are supermodels. We're all normal-looking human beings, and it's a bit daunting to have photos of yourself, out there on the World Wide Webs, but it makes such a big difference. People like to hear from real people. It's one thing really to see Miranda Kerr talking about her all-natural vegan blah, 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 and how she uses this shampoo, and she would look amazing anyway. Like, to see,
exactly. It's Miranda Kerr. Ugh.
Yeah, exactly. And to see, normal people doing things.
Yeah.
It's more relatable.
Yeah, exactly. And also just injecting that personality into your brand. I mean, if you're going to pick a corporate or a Miranda Kerr brand, how do you stand out? And one of the best ways to do that is inject your personality. And no one expects you to be a supermodel, but they want to know who is behind the brand. And that they begin to have that trust grown as well, which I think is really important. And, you've done an amazing job with Drop Dead Gorgeous Daily, and it's still, growing, and, it's kind of this empire. But really this year you've taken a bit of a different direction and added to your empire with secretbloggersbusiness.com, because so many people were coming to you, right, going, how did you do this with the blog? I mean, I know when we first met, it was like, okay, so how does this business run? Like, I didn't start a traditional blog. Blogging was part of my outreach for my, business coaching and Facebook ad campaign management business online, but it was never like I would never have considered myself a blogger as such. But the lines are getting more and more blurry now. Now it's about putting yourself out online and attracting clients, whether they be advertisers or other people to buy your information, and you position yourself as a specialist. So tell me a little bit more about, everyone was coming to you asking you this anyway. So what happened?
I think at the start of this year, I was feeling a bit burnt out. I'd, been pushing and Drop Dead Gorgeous Daily was doing really well, and, it was making 6 figures plus, and, I had 4 staff and all those things, which sounded, amazing. But I was just like, to get it to where the next bit I wanted it to be, it just seemed like it was going to have to, just there's so much more effort required. And I was like, I've been doing this for 6 years. I don't want to keep working this hard. Yes. And then it was, like you said, like people were coming to me saying, oh, how did you do this? And how did, and when I tell them things that I thought were pretty, just general knowledge, because you forget all the stuff that, you can kind of learn over that amount of time, they were all like, oh, really? Do you do that? Oh, okay, that's not so hard. I can do that. And I was like, oh, well, there's all these bloggers out there who just don't know this stuff. And, as I said, I've been doing this full time for quite a long time. Most of them aren't doing it full time yet. They haven't, had to figure the monetization side of things out to the point that I have. And it just kind of like the penny dropped one day that I'm like, well, maybe people, maybe I have been doing this long enough that I can pretend I'm a bit of an expert, and maybe people will want to, listen to what I have to say. And I'm a big believer in starting things before they're ready. Yeah. And I just thought, well, I'm just kind of going to test this, see if anyone's interested. And I put up just a very, very, very basic sales page on the blog and just said, I'm thinking about running a blogging course and who would want to sign up. And I was hoping that I'd get maybe 20 people. I thought if I got 20 people, then that's a goer. And I got like 100. So
wow. I know that was a sensational result where it just also shows that message to market, listening. Sometimes your next opportunities choose you. And I think there's a good take out there about building the plane as you fly it, and that starting, as you mentioned, starting before you're ready. I'm a firm believer in that too. And, building these things out when you're already getting whispers, and maybe it's the universe whispering and then shouting to you, or it's just people coming up and saying, I want this information, I need it. And then taking that action and putting it out there. I mean, there's not that many people who have a successful blog that have been working at it for 7 years who are sharing and like kind of pulling back the curtain and saying, hey, this is how I did it. This is what the things that you need to know. Because once you do that, as you found, it adds a new dimension to your business. It's really refreshed your energy for your own business. And the added bonus is you've dramatically increased your income as well. So it's like, who doesn't want a piece of that, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, I had to, so when I put up that sales page, I had it all, kind of blocked out what I was going to do. And then from the response, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to add this in as a thing. Like, people need to be doing, because I already had, e-products, like we've sold ebooks and stuff like that before. But, I think that, finding, it's all another piece of the puzzle, and it's something that I sort of shared exactly how I did it, and how, I didn't spend tens of thousands of dollars, and it didn't take me 6 months to put it together. And I think people found, a lot of people were really surprised. I thought, a lot of people have probably thought about doing some kind of program or some kind of online product, and they just assume that it's going to be this massive thing, and it takes so much time, and it does take a lot of time and energy, but it's doable, and there's ways of making it doable, and that's kind of like the process that I've shared with people as well.
Yeah, and I think there's this whole sort of lag in the blogging community that, okay, great, just build an audience, advertise, and do a $20 ebook. And it's just the whole landscape's changed from there. If you want to actually bring in a substantial amount of income, you've got to be a lot more commercial than that and map it out. But it doesn't have to be hard, and you can show people how to do it because you've done it. And you've got both sides of the fence there, and that you can show them how to position themselves as an expert or a coach in a certain area as part of what they do in their blog. But if people are just blogging, well, how do they get all those channels set up, even if it's from scratch? Your course helps them from scratch, or if they've already got an established blog. That's right, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had one girl, she didn't even have a blog when she started, and then within, I think it was under 2 months anyway from starting her blog, she has been approached by loads and loads of advertisers already. She's already done her first sponsored post.
Fantastic.
She's kind of she's an absolute gun. I'm not going to take complete credit for how amazing she's been doing.
But if she didn't do the course, she probably wouldn't have been able to do it, right? Everyone's got to take action.
Yeah, I think she said that she just found it so valuable, and it's probably helped her maybe skip ahead like 6 months, even 12 months to, and that's the power of basically being able to pick someone's brain who's done it before if you are starting out with something.
Yeah, borrowing those 10,000 hours, and you and I have definitely implemented that in our business, where it's like, well, why not use somebody who's already been there to tell us the pitfalls to avoid and to get us on the right path with strategy? It makes a massive difference. So to be, investing in Secret Bloggers Business Bootcamp, which is like an 8-week course on how to get all these essentials bedded down, understand your direction, and how to navigate getting sponsored posts so that you can get money coming in. I mean, how much did she bring in, for example, for that sponsored post? It was, I remember you told me the other day, I can't remember how much it was now. It was about
it was a couple $100, yeah.
Exactly.
So she paid for the course.
Exactly, like straight away, get that in, and, that's just within a few weeks. So just, and then it slowly builds once the audience builds. So the organisations and the advertisers are out there looking for the right kind of platform to get their message out there and get it out as easily as possible. So the opportunity is there, and you can also, so tell me a little bit more about the course and the modules that you go through and what's covered in there.
Yeah, so the three kind of pillars we cover is branding, monetization, and traffic.
Mm-hmm.
And the monetization takes up as 3 out of the sort of the 6 modules.
Yes.
And so we cover the 12 different main ways of monetizing a blog and how to sort of figure out which ones are going to work for you, because not everything is going to work for everybody. It might not work for your readers. There's no point forcing something just because you think you should be doing it. Like, it's picking the ones which feel best and which are going to work the best, and then kind of putting a plan together for how you can sort of roll those out, because if say you're going to try and pick 5 out of those 12, there's no point running and trying to do them all at once, because you'll do them all badly and it won't work. So it's like, okay, let's put a bit of a plan into place for making each of those work the best they can. There's also, this is my e-product sort of launch strategy, how to create an amazing opt-in to help build your list. And then we sort of also, it's got all of the templates, like we've got an awesome template in there to create your media kit. So you just drop in your information and some of your images, and it looks really, really pro. I actually had a graphic designer do it. We've got, all the scripts and checklists and things like that. So if someone does send you an email asking about your media kit or asking about your review of products or, all the things that you need to say and how you can start building relationships. There's also, 2 models on building traffic. So through social media, I've shared exactly what we do with our Pinterest. So how we got our Pinterest from 0 to over 100,000 in 12 months.
Wow.
The exact step-by-step what we do every day on Pinterest, how we've automated it so it takes less than an hour a day.
Yeah.
That's the traffic stuff. And then the branding stuff is like sitting down, figuring out who is your reader, how to niche down and really, really, because I know a lot of bloggers get really scared about getting too specific because they don't want to exclude people, but there's billions of people in the world. So it's exactly. Better to have, a couple 100,000 who absolutely adore you because you speak directly to them and you solve their problems and they feel like they have a personal connection with you than having, trying to make everyone happy, because it's just not going to work. So it's trying to figure out who that person is, then, brainstorming a big chunk of content so you can plan out, the rest of the year kind of thing, and make sure that content is kind of stuff that they're going to love, they're going to share, they're going to keep coming back for. Yeah. And just some other branding things about getting your look and feel of your blog and making sure your messaging is all very consistent. So it's very much the business side of blogging.
Yes, but it's kind of like you're the trusted advisor there. They have access to you in their private Facebook group. They can share their wins and ask questions, get guidance. Like, it's not just hey, set and forget, you've got to go into the membership area to keep moving. That's there, and you have lifetime access to it. But they've also got access to ask you specific questions about their own situation. So I think that's incredibly valuable to be able to borrow from your 10,000 plus hours, I'm sure, over the last few years, and show them exactly, how to move the needle and, get some nice junkets. Like, you get some, asked to go on like little junkets, advertisers are paying for them. You get to go on, go on trips and get free swag sent to you. Like, there's all the good things too that people definitely are excited about blogging, especially fashion and beauty blogging, when you can be getting all those things that I guess used to be reserved for the domains of magazine editors. You get as a blogger, so being able to tap into that. Who doesn't like some free stuff? All the important stuff.
Maybe swap makeup for shoes or something like that. I'd have
But the good thing is you've got your business set up now, so you've got so much more money coming in. I mean, you would have easily double your income this year, and it's like, well, you can buy your own shoes and do what you need to do with that. But when it's free, it's even better. But yeah, definitely you're setting yourself up for such a great growth, but also still being really true to what lights you up and what you're passionate about. Like when it started to fade a little bit with Drop Dead Gorgeous Daily, you were like, okay, what can I inject into my business to get me, excited again? And I think you've done that really well. So I love the course, and I know that so many people have been telling me about the results they've been getting, and it's just, you've done so well with it because so many people have jumped on. There's a need in the market, and no one's telling it quite like you. So that's why I wanted to definitely share with my audience where that what you're doing, not have you as a secret. I wanted to go, okay, Kate. I mean, everyone else is kind of on the bandwagon, but I definitely wanted to share that with everyone as well. So, secret blogging bloggers business. I'll get it right. secretbloggersbusiness.com is the link where they can find out more. I'll also have a link under this if you're seeing this on my blog, but you may be listening to it elsewhere. So if you need to find out more, secretbloggersbusiness.com and dropdeadgorgeousdaily.com is Kate's main blog, where you can get all the insider fashion, goss, and all the fun stuff. So there's 2 places to find out more. If you're thinking about blogging, or you're already blogging but you're not making the money that you want to, or you just blogging is one part of your strategy, being able to borrow from the success of your Pinterest strategy. I mean, I've seen other Pinterest programs out there those people do not have 100,000 followers on Pinterest that they're teaching strategies. So Pinterest is massive for web traffic and lead generation. To have 100,000 followers and be generating like the bulk of your business out of Pinterest and Instagram, and you sharing both of those, pointers and tips in the course. So that's something that, I know that I can learn so much from that as well. Like, I'm firmly entrenched in Facebook, but Facebook isn't the be all and the end all. And particularly for blogging, you need to know how to harness the channels of Pinterest and Instagram. So, I mean, I'm super excited about both of those channels. Instagram, particularly seeing what's going to happen with that. I think you'll be telling me what's going on. I'll be relying on you. I'm just going to come to you. Tell me all about Instagram. I love it. I think it's such a great opportunity, but I'm still trying to work out, how to directly get traffic. But you've been telling me that a lot of your business, you've been tracking it and seeing that most of it is coming from Instagram.
Yeah. It's like, so they can't link through, but that's where they're all saying that they found out about it. So Instagram's pretty exciting.
so it's good. So it's not just for people who want to be a traditional blogger. It's saying, okay, I want to find out about how to generate audience and traffic to my site, and they can definitely get a lot out of this as well as a community of really cool women who are all, entrepreneurial in spirit and success minded. So that's always a good thing, and I love any communities like that. So thanks for sharing all that today. It's been nice to run through it all and sharing your success too. So secretbloggersbusiness.com is where they can find you, and all of the information about the course. The price is rising soon. You've had some big demand, and to enable you to be able to, answer questions and give feedback and help people, you've needed to put the price up, but it's still an absolute steal. So go to the site and check it out, and you'll get all the details there as well. So thanks, Kate.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Okay, my pleasure. Okay.